If you guys have ever wanted a keyboard that can do it all, well, Ergonomics meet esports gaming with this week's product. We're going to be unboxing the ROG Falcata.
Yes, I've been waiting for this one. Those of you who have been watching our product announcements know that we announced this one at Computex earlier this year. We showed it off a little bit in our booth tour and stuff like that, but it is finally on shelf in many regions. You can go out there and buy it today. And if you're wondering whether it's the keyboard for you, we're going to tell you all about why it might be your next fragging machine. So, obviously, you take a look at this, you say, whoops, someone broke that keyboard in half. No, we didn't. It's designed to be that way. This is a 75% keyboard, so it is a little bit more compact than a full size, doesn't have the number pad and all
Right.
that stuff. But it is a split keyboard. So you can put it together and have it be kind of one unit, but then you can split it apart or detach the left side completely and have a bunch of room for your mouse hand. For ergonomics, right? The optimal ergonomic scenario, especially for some people, is to have your hands a little bit more at an angle, a little bit more like kind of in line with your wrists.
Mhm.
And so this design really allows you to do that. We're going to show off some of the adjustments you can make when we unbox it. But before we do that, I want to share a little bit about the specs here. So in this keyboard, we have the ROG HFX V2 magnetic switches. So this is using the ROG Hall sensor, which gives you extremely precise keystrokes and lets you customize the actuation point. So you guys know that if you have a mechanical key, it usually is about 3 to 4 millimeters travel distance. On this one is 3.5. On a typical keyboard, it will actuate around the middle point. So you'll have to press it down about halfway before it registers the letter on screen or your character's movement or whatever. Certain gaming focused keyboards might move that actuation point a little bit higher. So you only have to press it down a little bit. So it's really, really responsive. And we have some keyboards like that. But the cool thing about these magnetic switches is that you can adjust the sensor. It's all in software, right? So
So
you could
cool.
say, I want it to actuate immediately when I'm gaming, and I want to have a more typical midway actuation point when I'm typing or something like that, right? You can adjust it anywhere between 0.1 millimeters and 3.5 millimeters, that total travel
That's
distance.
huge.
Yeah, really cool, right? I mean, people love being able to customize that stuff. So this, I mean, with a normal keyboard, you would maybe swap out the switches for your preferred switches. In this, you can kind of just go into the software and customize the existing switches to yourself. So it also features a bunch of stuff like the rapid trigger setting for that instantaneous responsiveness. As soon as you let go of the key, instead of having to pass the actuation point again, as soon as it starts moving upward, it releases. Really cool. Also features speed tap mode, which I think we have a demo of it here. If you scroll down a little bit, this one's a little bit harder to explain. Yeah, there's all that
Yep.
stuff we just talked about. There's
Yep.
the rapid trigger as soon as you release it. Speed tap is cool. If you turn it on, it's a little bit different. If you have like two keys pressed down, as soon as you press down another key, it will basically de-register the key that you were pressing, right? So even if they overlap, as soon as you press down a new key, it releases the previous key you were pressing for really, really, again, fast, precise control of your character on screen. These are kind of all like competitive types of features. Now, on top of all of that, we've got 4 layers of different dampening features to absorb pinging noises, giving you that really refined, like cushioned typing feel that hopefully, if you've used any of other keyboards, you guys kind of have an idea of what that feels like. It makes the whole thing feel that much more premium than typical keyboards that are just kind of have that echo and pinging noise inside. Now, finally, before we get to the unboxing, the other cool thing about this feature is something that we call zone mode, which is kind of a like one-click optimized settings, right? We talked about some of this stuff, but with zone mode, it's like instantly turns on the 8,000 hertz polling rate for the gaming keys like WASD. It disables the RGB lighting to give you the best battery life and to minimize any other stuff the keyboard's doing in the background. It turns off the power saving features of the sensors. So you are ready to hit a button and pwn some noobs right away, right? Like you just get boom, you're in the zone. That's like the idea. Which it's a really cool feature. I really like what they did with that. So that is something that is available on this keyboard. So, with all of that in mind, let's take a look at the actual board so you guys can see what it really looks like.
There she is. I'm
This
so
this thing is
intrigued
cool.
to check this out because
Are you
it's
going to use this one for a bit?
We'll see. We'll see. I'm scared. I'm scared. Like, I mean, I feel like I have to, right? I have to give it a try. I have to give it a shot.
I think, yeah, people in chat already asking for hands-on time. Guess you got to use it for a couple game streams, see what it's like.
Yeah, yeah, we will. We will. Will it take over my beautiful Azoth X? I don't know. I'm kind of in love with this keyboard. We'll find out if this is gonna be the new.
It's hard when we offer something for everybody. Oh, it even has two
It's
separate
so cute.
things.
Left and right. So yeah, they're individually packed. Someone in chat says they want to just buy the left side. I don't think we offer that, but interesting that that's a thing.
But I get what you're going for. That was part of the idea here.
This is kind of a heavier base. I guess this is for.
So if you that's the wrist rest.
Yeah, but like
So
it's like
the
got a
way
whole
that
base to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it does, which again gives it a little bit more of that kind of like premium feel if that's what you want. If you want something a little bit lighter, more compact, you can do that.
I can
Or
dig it.
you can attach the wrist rest this way. Now, we'll unbox the rest and kind of show you how that works. The way a lot of the adjustments work is it has these screw-on feet, and you can kind of unscrew them and move them around to get different angles. And that's also how you attach this wrist rest, is by screwing those in like through those big like holes there.
Like you said, nice. It's like it does. It feels like truly premium. There's all these little rubber components that slot into that, so you can take this off for cleaning. I think that's the main reason you would remove this. But it's like all part of the wrist rest. And yeah, I just kind of like pulled that out. I assume it just snaps back in. Yep. It's got to line it up and push it into the holes. Cool. That's neat. And then, yeah, this guy goes on there. Just going to set these to the side while we unbox the rest of this.
Yep. You got a couple things in there you're going to need. It's not just power cables and manuals. One of these should probably have those screw-on feet. And then there's a cable that connects the two sides of the keyboard.
Yeah, here's the feet. Ooh, that's kind of nice.
Ooh, very nice.
8 feet.
It's funny because I've seen this keyboard in person multiple times, but I've never seen the unboxing. Like this is always my first unboxing experience for these keyboards. So there's always still a little surprise for me.
With ROG, we do not skimp when it comes to the packaging with any of our products, really. What am I doing wrong here?
Lone Noctua is asking in chat, are the keycaps replaceable? Yes, these are, because we're using our own switches. We used a standard cross stem on it, so you can swap out aftermarket keycaps that are compatible with like typical cherry style stems. And it has a walled stem design on those stems too, so it prevents dust intrusion and all of those kinds of things that you've come to expect from our switches.
All right. So we got like a polling rate booster, the standard dongle, the connector cable. Looks like there's like actually technically 3 USB-C cables that came in there. One that's excessively short, a medium-sized one, and then our standard full-length one for charging the device.
Yep. So the excessively short one is probably designed to hold the two sides together if you plan on keeping it together or only need a little bit of an angle. If you want a bigger angle, you could probably use that more medium-sized cable.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's oh, that short one actually maybe for the pulling rate booster or something too. I'm not sure.
Maybe. Okay. We've got all of
right, we're gonna put it all together. Here we go.
Yeah. This is pretty cool. So on the back here, we've got these. I assume we want the taller ones further back. Actually, what's in this? Oh, keycap puller.
Oh, nice. That's the keycap puller. So again, if you want to swap out the keycaps, you can do that. The keycaps are double shot PBT or UV coated ABS, depending on your region.
Okay.
So you'll want to probably check the product page for the store you're buying it from in your region to see which version it is. We have a question in chat. Can it also do multi-device connection? Asks Amertanch. Yes, so it has tri-mode connectivity, just like many of our other keyboards. You can connect up to 5 devices simultaneously to it. You can use the ROG Speednova dongle. You can connect it wired, obviously, but it also has Bluetooth built in. Now, if you want the absolute best, right, like latency and stuff, I would recommend using the ROG Speed Nova dongle or wired. That's going to give you the best gaming experience. But that Bluetooth is also handy if you want to kind of switch it between machines just for like typing and stuff. Bluetooth generally doesn't have as good of latency for gaming, especially like competitive gaming. That's why we have that dongle. But okay, so yep, this is how it works. There you go. You can put it together like that.
Right.
Yay.
So it doesn't actually
But
like snap together or anything, though. That's what the base is for.
yes, then the base kind of holds it in place. Now, so let's start by turning the keyboard over. You don't have to worry
Okay.
about the wrist rest right now because I want to kind of show how this is set up. So you've got these 4 screw holes on the bottom of each. I think 2 or 3 of those you can use to attach the base. But so Jake, pull out some of those feet. And I believe those feet are different heights. Like some
Yep.
of them have different thicknesses. Yes. So the idea here is that you screw in those feet exactly where you want. If you want the keyboard tilted forward a little bit, back a little bit, to the
Got
side a
it.
little bit, to the side and up, like you can screw those in to fit the exact combination of angles that you want for each of the 2 sides.
That's pretty interesting.
Yes, I mean, because the whole idea of a split keyboard is ergonomics. And here's something that I think a lot of people don't realize: the when you call something ergonomic, it doesn't just mean more comfortable. True ergonomics means it is highly adjustable because every person's body is different, and so for you to get it into that perfect situation where it is comfortable, where it isn't contorting whatever body parts in a weird way, it has to be highly adjustable. That's true of the chairs that we sell, right? And that's true of this keyboard as well. So you get a lot of adjustability to dial it in exactly to your preferences.
Yeah. So in this case, I have it slanting, so it's
That's the
higher
wrong
on
side.
the right. I know, but if that's what somebody wanted, they can do that.
That would be see. Okay, I don't know if I would recommend that, but for most people, it's going to be better to do the opposite. But again, hey, everyone's different. You have the option. That's why we did it this way. Now, what else is cool about this? I mentioned this earlier, but if you want to detach that keep it together when you're typing and then detach that right side completely when you're gaming, all of a sudden you've got just the left side for WASD and you're like, F and C and R keys, your other hotkeys for gaming. And you've got a whole crap ton of room for your mouse hand when you're doing it that. So that's like a really useful way to set this up for esports gaming as well. It really is giving you the best of all possible worlds, whether you are working or playing. And it does it in a very kind of premium build, which is why I think this keyboard is so freaking cool.
It's pretty cool. I mean, I've never encountered.
You stick with the Azoth. I'm stealing this from you.
Amen. You can have it. Well, maybe we'll see. I
was gonna say
it's definitely very premium feeling. Which
so Jake's not using the rest right now. But if you wanted to, you would screw in that plate underneath those things.
Just put that aside. I just want to like kind of vibe with it real quick.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, there you go. Other way would be the way.
Like this.
Yep. Because then your wrists are straight. Your wrists aren't doing this weird thing where they have to kind of contort because your arms are at your sides, right? So that way, instead of doing this, you're doing this, which is more comfortable.
Wow, I'm like missing a lot of keys just because it's like totally different.
It does take a little bit of getting used to it first, for sure. But once you get used to it, my understanding from people that have used a lot of these split keyboards is like once you use it, it's really hard to go back because it's just so comfortable.
I get it. I just type blame Whitson.
Don't do that.
So it looks like USB-C to C, and we kind of were determining that there's the short connector that is provided here. These are the link ports. So when you're going to go in like that, you've got those linked, and obviously you could change the feet so it's resting normally like a normal keyboard.
But you could also keep it like Jake has, where it's just together.
If that's how you want
it.
But there's nothing about this that doesn't work. Then we have let's get this guy powered on. I'm just gonna plug it.
Yeah, that's if you want to plug it in, and maybe like we can plug it in so we can show off the RGB and stuff. But again, like I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna be that guy and say, actually, I'm kind of wrong about that. You know, I'll put it this way: I keep my keyboard plugged in all the time. I'm that guy. Even though I have a wireless keyboard, I keep it plugged in because it doesn't move, and then I don't have to worry about charging it. With this, I might be more likely to go wireless because it does move around the desk a bit more as you're kind of constantly adjusting it for the situation at hand. But if you are worried about latency, don't feel like you have to plug it in because of latency. That ROG Speed Nova 8K wireless dongle is
Dude, yeah, no, latency is not a thing with
so
our keyboards.
fast.
It's
Wireless latency latency is a thing of the past, unless you're using Bluetooth.
the double spacebar is pretty cool, pretty nifty. I enjoy that a lot. We have housing for the dongle in the top here, and I can actually just plug this into my PC.
Love that. Love when we have housing for the dongle, because then you don't lose the dongle.
I'm actually chickening out because I don't think there's any ports back there, and it's okay. There's no practical
you need
reason.
to Velcro a bunch of USB hubs to the bottom of your desk like I have. I got USB ports at arm's reach at all times.
I'm about to have a even beastier PC case. Well, I'll have actually better access to the front USB ports. Currently, I don't really have access to the front ones.
Nice.
That'll be nice. So we have this little dial on the side, which for
that was the
volume and so on. And then you get the switch up top. Is that
and not just volume, but you can actually use it to adjust the actuation point of the switches, like we talked about earlier.
Right.
You can adjust the sensitivity of that rapid trigger feature, or you can use it for the basic things like volume, media playback, stuff like that.
So this is your toggle.
There's an array of LEDs underneath it that will kind of go up and down as you're adjusting, so you get feedback as to how quickly or how fast you're adjusting it.
It's actually amazing.
So that's really useful. Yeah, that multifunction wheel is similar to the ones on all of our other keyboards. Just gives you a ton of flexibility in quick adjustments for stuff.
Yep.
The other thing that I want to mention is that this keyboard is compatible with our new Gear Link. So you guys are probably familiar with Armory Crate, our software that allows you to customize all of the features of your different ROG hardware. But one piece of feedback that we've heard a lot over the years is that people want to be able to do that without separate software. And so a lot of our newest peripherals, very nice, come with another option called Gear Link, which is a web app. It is completely web-based and allows you to customize different settings on the keyboard without having to install separate software if you don't want to. So if you want the full suite of features and integration with all of your stuff, we've got Armory Crate still for you. That's still something that we are working on and supporting and updating all the time. But if you just want like the essential settings for that one keyboard and nothing else, or just your keyboard and mouse or whatever it is, as long as it's supported by Gear Link, you can do all of that from a web browser. Really cool. And so glad that our team is working on that, because again, we want to give you guys as many tools as possible and the flexibility to choose your own adventure here, right?
Yeah.
So that is something that this keyboard supports. Really exciting.
Yeah, I don't actually have it plugged into my PC, but you can kind of see all the different icons.
Yeah, you can see the lights going up and down.
Just padding through. I just have it plugged into like USB-C power on my desk right now, which works. But that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
So if you want to see this keyboard in action, what you're going to want to do is hit that subscribe or follow button down there, because Jake streams games on this channel all the time using different ROG gear, and he can tell you all about what it is like to game with the ROG Falcata over the course of the next few days, weeks, months. Depends on how obsessed he becomes with this keyboard versus the last one he used.
That's very true.
We'll see.
Yeah.
That is our main topic for today. But as always, guys, this is only part of our show. If you want to see the full ROG Pulse stream, you can tune in live every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. We do more than just unboxings. We also do giveaways during the full stream. We talk about games. We answer your questions about not just this ROG product, but any ROG product. We do all kinds of stuff. So be sure to watch live to see the full show. But in the meantime, we'll see you in the next one.